Hey guys, welcome back about our order of operations. There is something else I have not taught you quite yet about orders of operations, and this is also important. And the reason I haven't talked about it yet is because you guys are just starting out. But as you guys get into doing this and practicing more, you are going to see two other things that I haven't shown you guys. Just two other things. If you feel like you've got everything else, then these two other things I feel like are probably not going to trip you up and challenge you way too much. I feel like you guys will get it. One of the first things is, remember how I mentioned that with our parentheses, with our parentheses, that we do what's inside them first and then we switch it out to mean to multiply, right? So parentheses still mean to do them first, but not every single time does it mean to multiply. Now, and that is because in the examples that we've been doing examples where we have something like this, where it's like 10 and then parenthesis 3 plus 5, right? And we say, okay, well, we do what's inside them first, and we say, okay, oh, excuse me, I put the wrong number in here, I'm sorry. 3 plus 2. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. What I meant to put was 3 plus 2. So we've seen this type of setup, right, where we say, okay, well, we'll do what's inside the parentheses first, and then we swap it out for multiplication. So in this case, right, we did what's inside the parentheses, and then we swapped out the parentheses for a multiplication, right? Now, in this particular case, we don't have an operation here. There's nothing else here except for that open parenthesis symbol. And that's not always going to be the case when you see questions that deal with order of operations. Not all the time are you going to see where it's just a parenthesis in between two numbers like this. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this video, is that, well, what if there's something else and it's not just a parenthesis, right? So we're going to use the same example that I have here. So sometimes you will see something like this. Now, if we were to follow this rule, right, this still means 10 times 5, right, because this parenthesis, there's no other operation here. But in this example, we have an operation, multiplication, and the parenthesis. Well, in this particular case, it means the exact same thing as this, 10 times 5, because our operation is still to multiply. We would not write it as 10 times 5, like that doesn't look right, and that's not something we do. So we wouldn't exchange our parenthesis for that. You could if you wanted to. So this is not right. Do not do that. That's not right. What you could do is you could say 10 times and then a parenthesis and then the 5, if that's what you want to keep it. If you want to keep it like that, that's fine, and you know that this just means to multiply. But really, you could do that. But really, all you're saying is it's still just 10 times 5. It's all you're saying. What if our operation is something like this, where we have 10, the division symbol, parenthesis 3 plus 2. Still have to do what's inside the parenthesis first, right? But again, we have an operation and then a open parenthesis. In this case, we just ignore that the parenthesis exists. So as you guys are practicing, like I said, only change one thing at a time. So if we're only changing one thing at a time, we would solve 3 plus 2 and put that in here. Keep those parentheses. And then in our next step, we would get rid of the parentheses and do 10 divided by 5. But as you get more and more used to things, you can skip this step and go straight into this step, so that you don't have to do more work. But again, it's while we're practicing, one thing at a time is better, and then as you get used to it, you can skip this step. So right here, it means that we're dividing, and we're just ignoring that the parentheses are there after we've solved what's inside them. What if we have something like, let's see here, what if we have like 10 plus 3 plus 2, like this? Still solve what's in the parenthesis, just like that. But then, again, we can ignore that the parenthesis exists now that we only have one number in there. Same thing. Eventually, you can skip this step and figure out that, oh, well, 3 plus 2 is 5. I just switch it out for a 5 and take off those parentheses. What if it was subtraction, right? Same thing, where we had like 10 minus and then parenthesis 3 plus 2. Still solve what's in the parentheses first. Then we can take out the parenthesis and go, oh, it's just 10 minus 5. That is all those parentheses and then the operation next to it means. So, yes, it means to multiply, but that's only if we don't have another, like an operation symbol to go with it. That's all. Only if there's no operation symbol. Any other time, it just disappears. So in your notes, where we put multiply, we're going to put multiply, and then we're going to say or disappears. Because it's either you don't have a operation symbol like we do here, we don't have an operation symbol, and that's going to mean to multiply. If it has an operation symbol like division, subtraction, and addition, even if it has multiplication in it, right, it means to then take that parenthesis and they just disappear. They just no longer exist. And we can ignore them after we've done what's inside them. So that is one other thing about parentheses that we hadn't discussed and that involves our order of operations. Now, I don't mean to make anything else confusing, but this last one, these are called parentheses. We also have something that are called brackets. So, you'll sometimes see this type of symbol where they kind of look like squared off kind of looking C's. And what that means is that they too are a form of parentheses, and they too mean do what's inside here first. It's exactly what they mean too. But those are used when we already have had regular parentheses used in an equation. So in an equation that has something like, let's say we had a parenthesis of 2 plus 2, and then we had plus 3 plus 3, and then we had to multiply that by 3. This is a form of an equation that you would see. And what this means is, so these are your brackets. That's what these are called, brackets. Oop, the sun's in the way. I'm sorry, guys. Those are brackets, and we still have parentheses. So our brackets tell us to do what's in those first. Okay? How about I put in here actually plus, I don't know, 2. Let's put that there. So what it means is that we are ignoring what's outside of these brackets, And we're really focused on what's in here first. So it's saying focus in here first, then do what's in the parentheses. And then when those parentheses disappear, then these brackets mean to finish off what's in here, because we have an addition symbol in here. So what this looks like is, I look inside and I go, okay, I have parentheses. So I'm going to, again, change one thing at a time. I have, I'm going to put it right underneath it so I have enough room. So I have 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 3 plus 3, and I still have my brackets, times 3 plus 2. Made these brackets kind of big. The sun is getting in our way. Sorry, guys. Then I do what's in these parentheses, which is the 3 plus 3. So I'm going to keep my brackets, keep my 4, plus, and then 3 plus 3 is 6. Keep my other part of my bracket, times 3, plus 2. Now I have to, now that I'm done with what's inside these parentheses, and remember how we talked about that if there's an operation there, we can just pretend that these parentheses just disappear. So it's the same as just saying 4 plus 6. These parentheses no longer mean to multiply because they gave us an operation to use, which is this addition. And that's how we know that it means that these parentheses just disappear. So what it would look like is a bracket and then a 4 plus 6 bracket times 3 plus 2. And I still have to do what's inside these brackets, saying, hey, you solved these things with these parentheses, but you still need to finish off what's in here. So now I have 4 plus 6, keep my bracket, I have 10, keep my other side of my bracket, times 3 plus 2. Now I can make these brackets disappear because I only have a number in there. So now I have 10 times 3 plus 2, and again, following my orders of operations. That was all just because I had different parentheses in there. All of these steps are all to do with parentheses. I don't have any exponents, and so then my next one is going to be multiplication division, going left to right. Left to right, I have 10 times 3. 10 times 3 is 30, plus 2. And now I add 30 plus 2. I don't have any more multiplication or division. I'm only left with addition. And 30 plus 2 is 32. So this is just another level of using parentheses. And brackets are just another type of parenthesis that hold, it's like a bigger hug, okay? So you got like a small hug, and now this is like the bigger hug, holding everything together. Those are the two things that we have that we have not really learned yet. So what I'm going to do is in my notes is that where I have do first, right? I'm going to also say including brackets, because that's telling me that if I have brackets, I need to do what's inside them first as well. All right? So those are the only two things, and if you can get the hang of those two extra things, then guess what? You are doing 5th grade math. Congratulations, you guys. You guys are rocking it. So if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask and revisit these videos because they are super, super helpful. I will see you guys at another point in time, and good luck, guys. Bye.